Now on 4 News Now at 6, Spokane County wants to build a new jail, and they want you to pay for it. Why officials say a new facility is needed and how it could impact your taxes if it gets approved.
It is going to be a foggy and cold drive to work tomorrow morning with temperatures in the teens. The question is, will it get much colder? We're working on that answer in your First Alert forecast.
And media outlets from all over the world are in Moscow, Idaho, searching for answers after the murder of 4 U of I students. How all this attention could affect the trial if and when the killer is caught. You're watching 4 News Now at 6.
We start with breaking news out of Boise. Governor Brad Little is joining the list of lawmakers cracking down on TikTok by banning the app on all state-issued devices because of security concerns. Thanks for joining us. I'm Aaron Luna.
And I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Governor Little released a statement saying in part, quote, the communist Chinese government can use TikTok to collect critical information from our state and federal government. And we are taking this step to protect Idahoans and Americans from the sinister motives of a foreign government that does not share our values and seeks to weaken and manipulate our country. The FBI recently issued a warning that the Chinese government, which controls the app's central algorithm, could potentially use the video sharing app to influence Americans or control their devices. Well, as we said at the top of the newscast, you're going to want to give yourself some extra time to scrape your car windows tomorrow morning. We have another round of freezing fog on the way.
Yeah, and those temperatures are going to be dropping over the next few days as well. Let's send it over to Chris Crocker to find out how cold it's going to get. Chris.
Well, first let's take a look at the fog. This is the Deerport Airport right now, and typically you can make out you can see the planes on the runway. You can't even see a hint of the planes there at the Deer Park Airport. Here's visibility around the region. It is at 0, well, less than a quarter mile at the airport in Deer Park, also at Fairchild Air Force Base and Spokane International. And with temperatures below freezing, that fog is going to be freezing to the roadways around the region. Dense fog in Moses Lake and at Sandpoint, also down in Pullman, especially dense fog, and heading over Lookout Pass. So we are socked in once again. Temperatures right now 23 in Spokane. It's 28 degrees in Coeur d'Alene. You can see where they've had a little bit of clearing. It's 14 in Colville and 11 in Winthrop. We're at 27 right now in Moscow and Pullman. That fog is going to be with us off and on throughout the night, with the potential for a few snow flurries coming out of the fog as well. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. Patchy freezing fog. More gray days in the forecast through the start of the weekend. Don't think we're going to see a lot of blue sky. Occasional snow flurries coming out of those low clouds. And then beyond that, the forecast becomes much more uncertain. A variety of scenarios we're going to be talking about through the next hour. Aaron?
Yes, let's talk about those, because if you opened your phone on Tuesday, you may have seen a shocking weather forecast. It certainly got a lot of attention online.
The Apple weather app said that it was going to be minus 23 in Spokane next Thursday, right before Christmas. And when our weather team saw this, they were just as shocked as you probably were. 4 News Now meteorologist Matt Gray is here to explain why this is a misleading forecast.
Yeah, sometimes you got to call it like you see it, and misleading might be an understatement with this one. You see, the numbers on this app, well, they come right out of a weather computer model that is owned by Apple. Weather computers, well, first, they have to take in a bunch of data from weather stations, balloons, radar, all that stuff to make a picture of what's happening right now before they can simulate what happens next. Now, that picture is not perfect. There are lots of little errors and approximations, and if we're just looking ahead a day or two, those errors are not that big of a deal. But the further ahead you go in time, the more that these little errors will compound and compound and compound some more to become some big ones. So between 7 and 12 days, and really, at least for this complicated weather pattern, we're talking about between 5 and 10. You got 2 different weather models that can give you a totally opposite forecast. So when you give a forecast 10 days out using just one model that has no chance to be useful to you, because it might completely change later that day, see the screen when a new model run comes out. And that is what the iPhone weather app does. It gives you an extreme forecast, tells you that it is absolutely certain, and then changes by 20 degrees a few hours later. If it were a person instead giving you that forecast, let me ask, would you trust them? I know my answer. So when we make a forecast here in the Weather Center, we're looking at everything we can get our hands on. When you smash all these models together, you're able to pick out what's most likely to happen and probably more importantly, what is not. And when there are multiple scenarios that could reasonably happen, like we are seeing right now, we're not going to hide from that uncertainty. We're going to tell you. It is context and perspective and accountability. You're not going to get that from a machine.
Matt, thank you. Well, that context is also what makes our weather app different. Not only does the 4 News Now weather app give you hourly and daily forecasts, live radar, and a host of other features, you can access video forecasts and daily weather articles that will give you insight from our weather team and their decades of experience. You can find the First Alert weather app in your device's app store by searching KXLY Weather. The need to build a new jail in Spokane has been debated for decades, and now the decision could soon lie in the hands of taxpayers.
KXLY's Jordan Smith joins us from the Spokane County Jail today with more on these developments.
Well, on Tuesday, county commissioners voted in favor of adding a tax measure to the ballot this November. And if that's approved by voters, it would raise sales taxes by 0.2%, and that would help pay for a new jail to be constructed right here. The debate goes back years, whether or not it's time for a new jail to be constructed.
It's clear that what we have now is functionally obsolescent, it's obsolete.
Spokane County commissioners say it's time to let the public decide.
Both of us just finished the campaign for re-election, and that's what we heard from our constituents. Give us the opportunity to weigh in on this conversation.
Now is the time for the voters to tell us if this is the direction they want to head.
The decision to push this matter onto the ballot was made less than 1 month before 2 new commissioners will take office. Both Commissioners French and Kearns argue a new jail would solve many of the issues facing the current ones, including the overcrowding taking place at the downtown facility.
We are in a position to where there is no empty bed.
Meantime, the Geiger facility can only accept low-level offenders. Commissioner Kearns says that, coupled with the millions it takes to upkeep and maintain it, furthers their cause for a new jail.
The maintenance on that is in the tens of millions of dollars to get us just a handful of more years of a useful life.
County commissioners emphasize that this facility will serve as more than just a jail, saying it will offer classes for inmates to complete their GED, mental health treatment opportunities, and even 1 or 2 courtrooms.
It's much broader than just building a new jail. It's about investing in a criminal justice system that will keep our taxpayers safe.
County officials estimate this tax measure would generate close to $1 billion over a 30-year period. Assuming this measure gets voted into effect, we asked Commissioner French what the construction timeline looks like.
Current estimates are about 5 years.
In Spokane, I'm Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Tonight, a 4 News Now exclusive story. A Spokane killer's death means a long-held secret likely goes to the grave. In October of 1991, Rebecca West and Nikki Woods were kidnapped while walking to a convenience store in West Central Spokane. Hours after they were seen getting into a car, Nikki's body was discovered under a pile of burning pine needles miles away. Rebecca's body was never found. Michael Tarbird confessed to the killing, but said he only confessed to avoid a possible conviction and death sentence. He served 20 years in prison for the murder. He was released in August. His health was failing. Spokane County Sheriff detectives met with him in hopes he might reveal the location of West's body, and the revelation never came. Tarbert died at Providence Sacred Heart on November 26th. If you'd like to read more details about this story we first broke, we have posted for you on KXLY.com.
Police arrested a second suspect in connection to 2 separate robberies in downtown Spokane last week. Officers arrested the 17-year-old yesterday for first-degree robbery. Investigators say the first robbery happened at Riverfront Park near the Blue Bridge, where the suspects used a gun. The second happened 30 minutes later on Main Avenue near the P.F. Chang's. In that case, police say they used a knife to threaten the victim.
House is clear.
And tactical gear swept several Spokane schools last Friday. SPD said someone called 911 saying there was an active shooter inside those schools. And those claims turned out to be a hoax. But an initial call like this is a situation when lives are on the line and seconds matter.
Spokane police acted fast and were ready to use their training for this exact scenario.
The department says it's the various forms of training that prepared them for a potential school shooting. Training for a situation like the one we saw on Friday takes extensive work.
In rooms that did not answer.
It scared us on the outside, not knowing, and I know it frightened her mother a lot.
Inside, police searched rooms and cleared buildings. No active shooter or victims in sight.
The sheer cost and human life potential in something like that is so drastic that it requires a coordinated, a prompt, and a decisive response in order to save lives. And that's exactly what we're trying to do.
Officers train on everything from individual tactics to team movements to clear buildings and access threats and prioritize things. They coordinate response between fire and medical teams to save lives and minimize loss. SPD says it also works closely with Spokane Public Schools with a common goal.
Make schools as safe for the students as they possibly can be, and that we want to preserve student safety. We want school to be a safe environment for students to learn and grow.
Berg says people call in fake reports for a variety of motivations. They're taking one aspect away from Friday's incident.
Troublesome as it is that somebody committed that act, made that fake call, it does afford us a level of training opportunity. So to look at that response, to critique it, see if areas that we can improve, make sure that everybody, all the entities are talking and working appropriately together.
There's been so many incidences of gun violence that, well, it scares the heck out of you. And you just, I would like to never see it again.
There were also other swatting calls made around the country at the same time that day. SPD says they're still working with state and federal partners to look into whether there's a connection. Live in studio, Vanessa Perez, 4 News Now.
Still ahead, what caused this crash and why the owner's dog could be to blame. Coming up on 4 News Now at 6.
4 News Now on your time with Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Save your greed!
Place in the morning to start my day. With a smile, somewhere to help me get in the know. Oh wait, there is.
Bring your friends. Good morning, America.
GMA 7A. Now that's how you start your day.
From all of us at Mountain West Bank, to all of you, wishing you the happiest of holidays. Today, tomorrow, together.
The Grammy-winning songs, the Tony-winning movies. Ain't Too Proud. The life and times of the Temptations. Coming January 17th through 22nd. Tickets on sale now.
Remote car starts, new high-performance lighting, cool new rims and tires, and great prices on speakers, amps, and subwoofers. If you're looking for the best Christmas gift ideas, then go to the pros at Snow's.
This Christmas, treat yourself to a new Toyota from Findlay and take advantage of year-end specials on your favorite Toyotas. Plus, delay payments for up to 90 days, making it a great time to check off your wish list for that perfect gift from Findlay.
Next ET, we're at tonight's big voice finale.
You know what I'm saying?
Plus, ET's with the all-star cast of the live-action Beauty and the Beast.
This is an honor of my career.
Then, we're with Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren, taking us back to 1923.
He is the leader of the family. I may be the boss, but he's the leader.
I couldn't have said it better.
Next ET.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Entertainment Tonight at 7:30.
Nationwide, parents are struggling to find common over-the-counter medications as flu, COVID, and RSV cases continue to rise. We spoke to one local pharmacist who says he's seeing a shortage of common fever reducers and children's Tylenol and ibuprofen.
Our Peter Choi explains why parents should not resort to adult-strength over-the-counter medications without talking to a pediatrician first.
The nationwide shortage of children's medication is adding extra stress for parents this holiday season. And some parents are using adult-strength over-the-counter meds like ibuprofen and Tylenol. But one local pediatrician warns it can be risky.
Very challenging. I mean, it's just a lot more steps in terms of making sure they're getting what they need.
The circulation of 3 respiratory viruses, RSV, flu, and COVID, is swamping this local pediatric clinic on South Hill while facing a medication shortage because of supply chain issues.
We're primarily seeing shortages in our mainstream antibiotics, so we're having to call pharmacies ahead of time to see if they have amoxicillin, which is our go-to medication in pediatrics.
The nurse practitioner says don't try to replace children's medications with adult medications, as using them for children could be dangerous.
They're all weight-based, so you have to be very careful to know your child's weight to give them the appropriate dose, and then to make sure you're giving it at the appropriate intervals so you're not overdosing any children.
The health expert recommends calling your pediatrician first to get the best advice specific to your child. Aspirin is the one medication you absolutely want to avoid giving to your kids.
If they take aspirin, there's a risk of getting a secondary problem that affects the brain and causes inflammation.
The nurse practitioner recommends kids to wash their hands often, stay at home when they're sick, and mask up when needed. And plus,
going to an ER for a mild illness is going to expose you potentially to a lot of more severe illnesses.
In Spokane, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Another factor is making the U.S. especially vulnerable to respiratory viruses right now, and that is vaccine fatigue. Public health leaders say people are tired of being reminded to get their shots. Less than half of the population has gotten an annual flu shot for at least the past decade. CDC data shows millions fewer doses of the flu vaccine have been distributed this season compared to this point in previous years. Only 26% of adults had gotten their flu shot by the end of October, a deadline health experts say provides the best protection throughout the flu season.
The influenza vaccine that we have this year really matches the strains of the flu that are causing illness. So I would encourage people to receive your flu vaccine right away if you haven't.
As for the updated COVID-19 booster, fewer than 1 in 7 eligible people have rolled up their sleeves since it was authorized in the fall. Despite the vaccine fatigue, experts urge it's still not too late to get vaccinated.
Cold and foggy day for Thursday with the possibility of some snow flurries. High temperatures in the 20s. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast. It has changed since yesterday. A work in progress after the break.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Coeur d'Alene Nissan.
It's the musical television event of the season. Beauty and the Beast, a 30th celebration.
It's gonna be phenomenal.
Iconic, immersive.
The party of a lifetime.
Beauty and the Beast, a 30th celebration. Thursday on ABC.
Ironstone Furniture and Fire wants you to have all the comfort and total joy. Whether it's a cozy reason to hit snooze, eat dinner, or a spot to kick back, we have furniture that is good looking, well built, and comfortable. Just add your favorite people. In stock now. Visit our showroom, Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
Happy holidays!
Bill's Heating and Air is now accepting applications for plumbers, electricians, HVAC professionals, and highly motivated people wanting a career in the heating and air conditioning business. Every new hire is trained in our one-of-a-kind training center, featuring instructors with decades of HVAC experience and a climate-controlled state-of-the-art lab where employees receive extensive hands-on training. Apply today in person at 1007 North Boulder Court, Post Falls, Idaho, or call 208-777-5528.
Oh, hey, Drew, you're back.
Can Mark come down and make a Northern Quest commercial?
Well, we were just getting ready to go to Maslow's for breakfast, so...
Please, honey.
Well, what am I supposed to do while you're making this commercial?
We'll need extras.
Extras?
It's easy. You just hang out in a fuzzy background while we say hilarious stuff.
Was that an example?
Oh no, that barking is a dog. It's a border collie, and he's gonna need more than his puppy dog eyes to get out of this fender bender. It happened in Wales, and the person screaming is, of course, the dog's owner, who says the dog bumped the gear shift into drive, allowing the Jeep to roll down the hill. And the video was captured on security camera belonging to the man whose car was damaged, but he says he wasn't mad at all, and accidents happen. What a great attitude.
That is a good attitude. I wish everyone was like that. I was like, well, you can't blame the dog.
Look at that doggy behind the wheel.
It's like, go fetch, drive, crash, and all. He knows all the tricks.
Poor guy.
Speaking of dogs, Sarge, Dex, Rocco, and their handlers spread some holiday cheer to the kids at Sacred Heart Children's Hospital. The canines work for the Spokane and Post Falls Police Departments. And these police dogs wore reindeer antlers, wreaths, lights to get the children into the Christmas spirit.
Kids are here, they're sick, they're not feeling great. If we can make them forget that for just a few minutes, that is well worth everything we're doing today.
Even though this was a fun visit, the canines were still considered on duty and patrolled the halls of the hospital as part of a security detail. They were wearing muzzles. It's just a safety precaution.
Oh, good dogs. And I am so glad our Keeping Spirits bright lights from Mark Peterson are out there for the kids during these very gray days, brightening the spirits. 29 was our high today. A short thermometer, 26 is where we started the day. Below average for our high, but actually above average for that overnight low. Sunset now 3:59. It's getting later. We had almost an inch of snow at the airport in Spokane. Our season-to-date total well above our average, which is now just over a foot of snow. And it looks like we have more snow coming, but not in the short term. Just some snow flurries likely will not even amount to 1/10 of an inch. 24 degrees and fog right now in Spokane. It's 28 with overcast conditions. In Coeur d'Alene, we'll have patchy freezing fog tonight. The possibility of some snow flurries on an isolated basis with the low clouds and fog tomorrow and a high temperature of 27 degrees. The system that brought that snow today now off to the south and east. We are left in a northerly flow that's going to keep our temperatures below average. We're right on the eastern edge of a ridge of high pressure that is going to keep things dry, and the fog and low clouds are going to continue for the next 3 days. And then there is a fork in our forecast road, and 3 different scenarios coming into view. I want to start off by showing you our temperature trend over the next 7 days. It is below average, but it is quite a bit warmer than it was yesterday when we were looking at the 7-day forecast. I had some teens for highs, overnight lows in the single digits, and now that is becoming a little uncertain. There are 3 different possibilities. The one that we're favoring right now, colder than average conditions, as you saw there in the temperature trend, with some light snow early next week. But there is almost as strong a case to be made for some heavy snow, followed by colder than average conditions, and by heavy snow like a foot of snow in Spokane and more in the mountains. And then a third scenario, moderate snow, So more snow than the first scenario, and then followed by very cold conditions, the highs in the teens, lows in the single digits below zero. So that is, it is unusual to have this much uncertainty in the extended forecast, but we are dialing in with each progressive computer model. Lows tonight in the teens and 20s, highs tomorrow only in the 20s and lower 30s. Our 7-day forecast, that snow comes in along with the uncertainty on Sunday and continues through Tuesday. Winter starts on Wednesday. Then we bring in some colder weather. But again, you'll notice these temperatures have definitely been adjusted. Our highs were down in the teens earlier in the week. And it looks like we may be staying in the 20s. Stay tuned for this to change, Aaron.
Sounds good. Thanks, Chris. It's been 3 years since this 8-year-old was thrown off the third-floor balcony at the Mall of America. Today, his mother shares her experience and her son's difficult journey of recovery.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't look at him in complete awe.
That's next on 4 News Now at 6.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
Hello, I'm Diamond Dan Clark.
And I'm Jeweler Jane.
And we're from Clark's Diamond Jewelers in beautiful downtown Coeur d'Alene. Our famous snow promotion is back for Christmas.
If it snows 5 inches or more in 24 hours on January 7th, 2023, all purchases made at Clark's between November 19th and December 31st will be refunded in full. And that means all engagement rings, loose diamond and gemstones, jewelry and gifts could all be free.
Shop Clark's Diamond Jewelers this Christmas and let it snow diamonds.
Whatever plans you have, whatever future you imagine for yourself, Idaho's public colleges and universities are here for your journey. Here to help you explore and develop your potential and expand your vision for what's possible. Here so that you can take advantage of opportunities presented by Idaho businesses and industries that want and need your talents. Here for you, for us, for Idaho.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on the next task. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXOY.com to nominate it. 4 News Now Extreme Team brought to you by Horizon Credit Union.
Healthy communities need more than health care. This is Multicare. We're here for you.
Taxes aren't free, but your furnace could be. This holiday season, when you purchase a Daikin air conditioning unit, you'll receive a Daikin furnace free. That's right, free. Let us keep you and your family comfortable all year round. Contact Mainstream today.
Ironstone Furniture and Fire wants you to have all the comfort and total joy. Whether it's a cozy reason to hit snooze, eat dinner, or a spot to kick back, we have furniture that is good looking, well built, and comfortable. Just add your favorite people. In stock now. Visit our showroom, Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
4 News Now is brought to you by Move Fitness.
Around the nation tonight, it is a miraculous story of survival. A young boy thrown off a balcony at Mall of America is now speaking out with his mother 3 years after that terrifying incident.
ABC's Liz Kreutz has more on the difficult journey to recovery.
He was called the Miracle Child, and now 3.5 years after little Landon was thrown 3 stories off a balcony at Mall of America, his mother, Carrie Hoffman, now speaking about her 8-year-old son's remarkable story of recovery.
There's not a day that goes by that I don't look at him in complete awe.
That horrifying day began like any other, a trip to the mall. But within an instant, their lives changed forever when, according to police, a man suddenly grabbed then 5-year-old Landon, throwing him nearly 40 feet to the ground. Carrie says a group of nurses happened to be in the mall.
Then the nurses are working on him and they would say, I think we got a heartbeat. And I would say, you bet we got a heartbeat. And they're like, we think he took a breath. And I'm like, yes, he took a breath.
Landon survived, but was severely injured with significant head trauma and broken bones. He was rushed to the pediatric ICU, Carrie staying every night by his side.
Did the doctors tell you?
All of them. This is a miracle. He should not be here.
The man who threw young Landon, 24-year-old Emmanuel Aranda, who had previously been arrested twice at that same mall. In 2019, he pled guilty to first-degree attempted murder and is currently serving 19 years behind bars. The family says they forgive him. Now almost 9, Landon is an energetic, active kid who loves his cat and playing hockey.
I'm so thankful for breath, for life, for heartbeats.
I just care that lots of people do care about me, and I care about them too.
And his mom says she believes an angel caught young Landon that day. The family has settled a lawsuit they filed against Mall of America. They are now working with the mall to improve safety so this never happens again. Liz Kreutz, ABC News, Los Angeles.
New at 6, survivors of the Club Q mass shooting where 5 people were killed and many more were injured testified on Capitol Hill and specifically called out Republicans.
To the politicians and activists who accuse LGBTQ people of grooming children and being abusers, shame on you. As leaders of our country, it is your obligation to represent all of us, not just the ones you happen to agree with.
Now, Republicans are defending claims that they were contributing to any violence, saying Republicans condemn all violence in any form. And unfortunately, Democrats are using committee time and resources to blame Republicans for this horrendous crime. It has been 10 years since 20 children were shot and killed at an elementary school in Newtown, Connecticut, sparking a nationwide conversation about gun control.
Well, we break down what laws have changed and which stayed the same. That's coming up.
And justice is the goal, but getting there is complicated. Coming up, see how the Moscow murder investigation is testing the criminal justice system with the killer still on the loose.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
It's time for a new shower, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath. From start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
The icy winds of winter are here. Whether you're heading up to the slopes or just traveling through a mountain pass, you need a vehicle that can handle the icy conditions. Stay in control with trucks, and more trucks from Northwest Motorsport.
Your Broadway wishes granted at Disney's Aladdin. Audiences and critics agree it's exactly what you wish for. Don't miss Aladdin, the hit Broadway musical.
Your holiday wish is granted June 27th through July 2nd. Visit BroadwaySpokane.com.
If you've been looking for a new vehicle in the current market, you may be hearing things like extra charges, added accessories, or second sticker.
Not at Coeur d'Alene Honda. We make it easy.
We'll keep you posted till your new Honda arrives, give you a fair value for your trade, and give you a lifetime warranty at no additional cost to you.
Well, that was easy. Come meet the team and purchase your next vehicle at Coeur d'Alene Honda.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Call today for our available inventory and check out our website at cdahonda.com.
Every holiday season, Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots collects thousands of toys for less fortunate children during the Christmas holidays.
We're thankful for all our donations and all our wonderful volunteers who bring joy to children during our 75th anniversary of Toys for Tots.
Numerica Credit Union is honored to partner with organizations like Toys for Tots as they work to enhance lives, fulfill dreams, and build communities.
Check out more organizations that make our community stronger at numericacu.com.
It's time for a new shower, but you don't want the hassle. You just want it done. Rebath. From start to stunning. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,250 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Identical twins falsely accused of cheating in medical school. Next Inside Edition. They do everything together, but cheating?
It was probably one of the lowest points of our entire lives.
Vindication at last. How they prove their innocence. Then, the hottest new dance in America. The Wednesday Copycats. Watch the next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News Now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7. Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
The road to justice for these University of Idaho students may look different because of how many eyes are on the case. It's now been over a month since 4 students were murdered. Local, national, and even international media outlets swarmed the small college town. Some are still there weeks later.
This kind of high-profile engagement in a case can affect what happens if and when the killer is caught. Tonight at 6:30, our Esther Bauer is in studio with why.
Well, guys, every investigator on this case feels the pressure to not only find the killer, but get a conviction. With so many people watching, it creates unique challenges for a case if and when it goes to trial.
I've never seen a case that's really consumed public attention in the Northwest like this case.
This crime scene's been under close watch since the students were killed because people are obsessed with what's happening in Moscow.
I think that this case will take finding fair jurors to a new level because everyone's heard about it. Everybody has an opinion.
Finding unbiased jurors is one issue, and finding a venue for the trial is another.
Typically, it would be within the state of Idaho, but where do you go? Twin Falls, Boise?
Attorney Steve Graham says this case is taking the criminal justice system to a new level.
This case will really, test the court's ability to try a case under this environment. Yet what we have in Moscow is like a perfect storm of, the social media and the internet sleuths all trying to solve this, and just voracious public consumption.
The difference is this case, unlike those cases, we have no suspect.
Jennifer Coffindaffer knows high-profile cases well. She's a retired FBI agent, not involved at all in this investigation, but watching closely. Would you say the high-profile nature of this case will complicate even being able to get justice?
It could. I mean, any case that's high profile is much more difficult from an investigator standpoint.
Because police are being watched at all times, internet sleuths are spreading misinformation, and the pressure to find the killer intensifies by the day. Still, the goal is justice, no matter what it takes to get there. And both of these experts compared this case to the Gabby Petito case. One big difference is that case never made it to trial. So everything we're talking about hinges on when the suspected killer is caught and whether they plead guilty or take a plea deal to avoid a trial. Reporting in studio tonight, Esther Bauer, 4 News Now.
A live look over the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena. I've been watching the fog intensify on the West Plains, and visibility is low at the airport in Spokane. There's more of that on the way. Here are 4 things to know about your weather forecast. Patchy freezing fog for the next 24 hours. It's going to be an issue right on through the start of the weekend. There are more gray days ahead. Occasional snow flurries coming out of the fog, and that in combination with the freezing fog will make slick spots on the roadways. Forecast uncertainty kicks in the second half of the weekend and beyond, but we do know it's going to be wintry. Just how wintry is still in question. Visibility down less than a quarter mile in Deer Park, at the airport in Spokane, and at Fairchild Air Force Base. And that fog is expanding throughout the inland Northwest right now. Temperatures, meanwhile, are below freezing throughout the region and will create some problems with freezing fog on the road. You may also encounter some isolated areas of freezing drizzle. About the only place you'll find temperatures above freezing right now, all the way down in Lewiston, but just barely. It is 33. Your Thursday planner, temperatures starting out in the teens, 20 degrees at 6 o'clock, heading to a high of 27. I'll be back with the 7-day forecast. Plus, it's Wildlife Wednesday. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. And if you're planning on hitting the ice or going for a ride on the Sky Ride at Riverfront Park this holiday season, there are some time changes that you need to know about. Starting on the 17th, the Loof Carousel will be open from 10 until 5 on the weekends and 10 to 4 Monday through Thursday. Both the Skate Ribbon and Sky Ride will also open every day at 10 o'clock.
Today marks 10 years since 26 people, including 20 kids, were killed inside Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut.
The shooting sparked nationwide conversations about gun laws in the U.S. ABC's Andrea Fuji looks at what's changed since then and what hasn't.
This morning, remembering the Sandy Hook Elementary massacre 10 years later. It was December 14th, 2012, when 20 first graders and 6 educators were killed in Newtown, Connecticut. Jackie Hegarty was there, a second grader at the time.
It's really hard to process that, and I'm still processing it 10 years later. No one deserves to, see the things I saw when I walked out, or to hear the things I heard.
Now 17, she says her grief has fueled her push for new gun laws as president of the Junior Newtown Action Alliance.
We're still looking for a federal assault weapons ban, but we're making progress.
In the last decade, Connecticut has passed several gun reform measures, including an assault weapons ban and mandatory background checks. Other states followed suit. But since Sandy Hook, the nation has seen nearly 1,000 school shootings. After the massacre at Robb Elementary in Uvalde, Texas this year, Congress passed the first federal gun safety law in 30 years, tightening background checks and offering so-called red flag grants for states to help police and families confiscate guns from people considered a threat. But advocates like Nicole Hockley, whose son Dylan died at Sandy Hook, insist more must be done.
These acts of violence are preventable, and that we all have a role in doing something about it.
Meanwhile, support for the Sandy Hook families is coming in from around the country. Just released at midnight.
Please say honestly, you won't give up on me. Oh no.
Sheryl Crow's new song, I Shall Believe, honoring the victims.
I shall believe.
Connecticut's governor is introducing new gun control measures today aimed at changing concealed carry laws and requiring all gun dealers to be licensed. But opponents argue these new measures would punish law-abiding gun owners rather than targeting criminals. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Washington State football has arrived in Los Angeles for the LA Bowl. We hear from the Cougars about the matchup against Fresno State coming up in sports.
Download the 4 News Now app today.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Sweet Palace and Sapphire Jewelry in Phillipsburg, Montana.
It's beginning to look a lot like savings during the holiday sale at Furniture Row. Stop in today because everything is on sale, plus 4 years no interest. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. Happy holidays from Furniture Row.
Looking for some fun? Then come play for the day at the Coeur d'Alene Casino and discover new ways to win big inside the new Discovery Den, the first and only video game testing room in the U.S. with many of the top manufacturers in the world under one roof, where you get to play them first and decide which games stay and which ones don't. You will set the trends for the future of gaming, only at the Coeur d'Alene Casino.
Welcome home. Fred's year-end inventory reduction sale is on now. Save on all major appliances at this sale.
High-capacity GE top-load washers start at only $4.99. GE self-cleaning ranges start at only $5.49. And GE stainless French door refrigerators start at only $15.99. Fred's carries the full line of highly rated GE appliances, and they're all on sale.
Take advantage of year-end inventory reduction savings at Fred's Appliance.
'Tis the season to get great gifts you can enjoy all year long from the pros at Snow's Auto, like remote car starts, $40 off. New tonneau covers for the truck, 20% off. WeatherTech floor mats marked down. Or crank up the sound with a brand new head unit and get a free set of coax speakers or a Cerwin Vega bass package for $299. It's time to buy the best gifts everyone wants this week at Snow's.
It's the holiday sale at Denver Mattress. Right now, purchase any Tempur-Pedic and get a free $300 gift. Or check out the Summit Firm for only $279.99. Plus 4 years no interest with no down payment and free shipping. The holiday sale on now at Denver Mattress.
I love Wildlife Wednesday any time of year, but this time all of the photos look like Christmas cards. They're just beautiful. And Mark Vogt shared this beautiful shot of a heavily coated mountain goat. Mark, I know he watches the forecast, but I do think he gets most of his weather from the wildlife. He says that this mountain goat was right about the cold, snowy winter, and his coat suggests that he knew well in advance that it was going to be like this. So hats off to Mark and the mountain goats of North Idaho. Ralph Kerr shared this photo of a beautiful bald eagle in a perfectly flocked tree. Just gorgeous. Again, Christmas card worthy photos. Thank you, Ralph, for sharing that image. Eric Walker says these moose came by to prune his apple trees today. And they are adorable. I need some pruning done. I wouldn't mind some help in that regard. And finally, from Kazu Crumpelman, a beautiful little belted kingfisher, a female. Kazu was out at Higgins Point looking for bald eagles and was surprised by this little darling. What a cool looking bird. Thank you, Kazu, and all of our photographers for the great photos. Not the best day for capturing images of landscape. We've been socked in with the low clouds and fog again today for much of the region, and that is what we find right now, particularly in Spokane, Deer Park, up through Sandpoint and down into the Palouse, where visibility is less than a quarter of a mile in spots. Difficulty on the roads in terms of visibility, but also freezing fog. And we have a fresh coat of snow over much of the region. Here's a look at our satellite and radar system. Zipped through this morning, left about an inch in Spokane, a little bit more in parts of North Idaho, and now is well off to the south and east. We don't have any big systems moving through anytime soon. A dry northerly flow will keep things cool. High pressure to our west will keep the low clouds and fog going. Occasionally, we will see some snow flurries coming out of the low clouds and fog, and that just adds another very thin layer of ice to our already slick surfaces on the area roadways. Here's a look at your planning forecast. Plan on gray conditions for the next 3 days with overnight lows down in the teens. As I mentioned earlier, we start to see our forecast branch off after Saturday. Right now, this is the most likely scenario, but only most likely by a little bit. Temperatures in the 20s through Tuesday with overnight lows in the teens and a chance of light snow starting Sunday. Kirsten?
Thank you, Chris. New tonight at 6:30. This next story sounds like something straight out of a spy movie.
7 people, including one man from New Hampshire, accused of being part of a smuggling ring with ties to Russia. ABC's Rena Roy has more.
This home looks like any other on this quiet suburban block in Merrimack, New Hampshire, decked out with Christmas decorations like Frosty the Snowman. But Justice Department officials allege it was at the center of an international Russian smuggling ring.
One thing very odd I noticed is that there's always a lot of boxes there. I didn't know anything about it. Did they have some sort of online business? I don't know.
Federal prosecutors indicting 35-year-old Alexei Brayman along with 6 others, alleging the defendants secretly worked for Russian intelligence and created shell companies based in the U.S., then illegally shipped millions of dollars in equipment and technology to Russia, often pretending that they were routed to other countries like Germany. Some items allegedly included bullets and materials used to develop hypersonic and nuclear weapons that could be used by the Russian military as Russia's war with Ukraine intensifies.
The U.S. government takes extremely seriously items that are going to places like Russia, China, Iran. They have reported in some of these previous cases where items illegally purchased by these front or shell companies ended up on the battlefield in Ukraine.
You can see the Brayman family in social media photos. Brayman's wife, Daria Brayman, has not been charged with a crime.
The 7 defendants have been charged with conspiracy, money laundering, smuggling, and bank and wire fraud. 3 of them are in custody, but the other 4 are believed to be in Russia. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight. It's the Connors at 8, followed by the Goldbergs at 8:30. Then it's back-to-back episodes of Abbott Elementary starting at 9. And you can catch Finding Harmony at 10.
Sign up for breaking news alerts with the 4 News Now app.
BECU was created for communities like Spokane because we get what it means to be a Spokaneite. We're locals who look out for our neighbors and strive to do what's right for our members. With convenient neighborhood financial centers, free ATMs, and 24/7 mobile banking, we can do what's right for you too. So join us at BECU.
Ironstone Furniture and Fire wants you to have all the comfort and total joy. Whether it's a cozy reason to hit snooze, eat dinner, or a spot to kick back, we have furniture that is good looking, well built, and comfortable. Just add your favorite people. In stock now. Visit our showroom, Ironstone Furniture and Fire in Coeur d'Alene.
I think at Hospice of Spokane, it's not just a job. It's a career, but it's also a passion. Nurses, the social workers, the chaplains, the health aides, they just do a phenomenal job, and they get to know the clients. They don't come to treat just the client. They come to embrace the family as a whole.
To serve with the region's #1 hospice team, visit hospiceofspokane.org.
The Christmas specials are rolling in this week to Dishman Dodge Ram Chrysler Jeep with fantastic end-of-year buys on all Ram trucks and popular Jeep models, as well as big markdowns on all pre-owned SUVs and four-wheel drives.
But the best offer is with every vehicle sold, you'll get a free big screen TV with the purchase, making it the perfect time to visit our family-owned dealership at Dishman.
Dishman Dodge! Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning is your family-owned and operated #1 HVAC contractor in the Northwest. Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning would like to introduce our own carbon reduction program. Buy a new energy-efficient furnace from Bill's Heating and receive a matching air conditioner with installation absolutely free. No hidden fees, no conditions, no exceptions. Buy a furnace, get a free AC from Bill's Heating and Air Conditioning. Call today for estimates and repairs. 4 News Now is brought to you by Sage Boutique and Just Because Fashions.
Practice #1 is in the books. Welcome into sports. I'm Julian Minnesone. Washington State football wrapped up its first practice in Los Angeles ahead of Saturday's Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl. The Cougars will look a bit different when they take the field, specifically on offense. Offensive coordinator Eric Morris will not be on the sideline Saturday. Morris is leaving Washington State to become the head coach at North Texas. Now, Morris was the head coach at Incarnate Word, where he coached that guy right there, Cameron Ward, before they both came to Washington State. Now, Ward was shocked to hear about Morris's departure.
They're a big reason why I'm here in Washington State. So without that, I wouldn't be here. So I'm forever grateful for him. And really for me, it's not even about like being angry or anything, because life's too short at this point to even be mad at someone. So, I just thank him for everything that he's done for me and my family. And to be honest, I'm just happy for him to be able to go back to Texas where he loves, be with his family, and, be able to coach big-time football.
Now, this will be Ward's first collegiate game without Morris calling the plays. Now, Mississippi State wasted no time in finding its new head coach after the death of Mike Leach. Zach Arnett is expected to replace the late Mike Leach as the head coach of the Bulldogs. Arnett spent the last 3 seasons as the defensive coordinator at Mississippi State. Now, Leach died Monday night after complications related to a heart condition. Now, Leach is still on the mind of many Washington State coaches as the Cougars took the field at practice this morning in L.A. Washington State offensive line coach Clay McGuire played for and coached with Mike Leach.
I wouldn't be sitting on the screen right now if it wasn't for Coach Leach. He gave me the opportunity to play college football, and then he gave me the opportunity and gave me a career in college football. And like I said, he meant the world to me as he meant to so many others. And it's a very sad day for so many people, very sad day for college football, and, really, really going to miss him.
And kickoff for the Jimmy Kimmel LA Bowl between Washington State and Fresno State is set for 12:30 Saturday in Los Angeles. You can catch the game right here on KXLY, and we will have live coverage from LA starting tomorrow. No early Christmas gifts for Washington State basketball this year. The Cougars will have their toughest task of the season when they take on number 11 Baylor on Saturday. And this is a Baylor team that will be coming off 12 days rest when they tip off against the Cougs. Washington State could use some rest as well because the Cougars are without a number of players due to injury, including sharpshooter Jabe Mullins. Washington State head coach Kyle Smith says despite all the injuries, this will be a good test to see where the Cougars stand against one of the best teams in the country.
We weren't accounting for that, not having Jabe and Andre and Miles and Deshaun, but eventually we'd like to get to where, hey, let's test ourselves against the best, see where we're at. They're obviously, their perimeter's really good, and they're just used to winning and won a national championship. So playing them down there will be, it'll be a challenge.
Washington State and Baylor have played 4 times. The Cougs have won 3 of those matchups. Tip-off is scheduled for 7 o'clock on Sunday night. Now, the game is at American Airlines Arena in Dallas, which is technically a neutral site game, but Dallas being a little more than an hour away from the Baylor campus makes it a very pro-Baylor crowd on Sunday night. Now, the game is part of the Pac-12 Coast to Coast Classic. And that'll wrap us up for sports.
Stream 4 News Now on your TV for free with the KXLY Plus app.
This week on Svengoolie, it's a spy thriller like you've never seen.
Who are you? I can't see you.
Oh, why don't we make him tell us? Peter Lorre stars in Invisible Agent on the next Svengoolie.
Saturday night at 8 on MeTV 4.2.
Frozen water pipes are a serious risk during cold winter weather. When water freezes in a pipe, it can be a disaster for your home and your wallet. If you're not properly prepared, don't wait until it's too late. At Mainstream, we know exactly what it takes to keep your family safe during the cold season. So call or visit us online today.
Complete vehicle window tints, new heated seats. And right now, when you buy a new stereo head unit, you can get a free set of coax speakers. This Christmas, if you're looking for the perfect gift, then go to the pros at Snow's.
Every holiday season, Marine Corps Reserve Toys for Tots collects thousands of toys for less fortunate children during the Christmas holidays.
We're thankful for all our donations and all our wonderful volunteers who bring joy to children during our 75th anniversary of Toys for Tots.
Numerica Credit Union is honored to partner with organizations like Toys for Tots as they work to enhance lives, fulfill dreams, and build communities.
Check out more organizations that make our community stronger at numericacu.com.
At Northern Quest, 'tis the season to celebrate however you want. With steaks at Maslow's, holiday cocktails and festive nights at Highball, holiday gift cards, unique shopping at Windfall, free family fun at Questmas Village, and our larger-than-life gingerbread house. And after all that, join us to ring in 2023 at the hottest New Year's party in town. Get all the holiday details at northernquest.com. Northwest Winterfest is open Fridays through Sundays. It's the Northwest's largest illuminated holiday and cultural festival, now indoors and bigger and better than ever, with displays up to 130 feet long and 25 feet high, plus live performances, free interactive children's activities, and free admission for kids 10 and under. So come celebrate the magic. Your tickets are waiting at northwestwinterfest.com.
Taxes aren't free, but your furnace could be. This holiday season, when you purchase a Daikin air conditioning unit, you'll receive a Daikin furnace free. That's right, free. Let us keep you and your family comfortable all year round. Contact Mainstream today.
4 News Now is brought to you by Walker's Furniture.
Here is your 7-day forecast. I'm showing you the 7-day forecast because the next 3 days just going to be gray.
Yeah.
Flurry here and there.
And then winter comes on Wednesday.
Interesting Sunday. I'm going to stay tuned to see how this plays out.
I'm very curious. I will be watching our 4 News Now weather app specifically. That's the one to download. If you haven't, search KXLY in your app store. It's better than the other app.
I better
the
get
Apple
that.
app. Much
That
better.
one right now.
Download the 4 News Now app today. See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.